Welcome to Thursday Night Talk. This is a show where we discuss the week in Humboldt, the local issues, and the local personalities with local personalities. I'm Talvi Fried, and I'll be your local host for the next hour. If you're a small business owner, you may already know about the Small Business Development Center, or SBDC, as we'll refer to it frequently, probably during this conversation. If you are not, and you're looking to become part of the 99.9% of all businesses in the U.S. that employ about 46% of the private sector workforce, this show may be for you. Otherwise, you may just want to tune in or keep tuning in and listening to see what's happening in the business world of Humboldt County right now. Joining us tonight to answer some of these questions are Samantha Edwardes, Northern California Small Business Development Center Strategic Projects Specialist, and Will Franklin, Director of the North Coast SBDC. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So I always like to start off pretending that I don't know anything. So what's SBDC?
SBDC, Small Business Development Center, nationwide network of nonprofits. That's crazy. We're a nonprofit that is designed to help small businesses profit. Wow, explode your mind. But we've been around a while, and we're a big network in California. We are part of a NorCal, so Samantha works for NorCal, and that's the headquarters kind of, and it happens to be in Arcata. So we're co-located with the NorCal, but I run an office that oversees Humboldt County and Del Norte County. So my position is to manage a network of advisors that then are connected with anybody who wants to become a client, and those are free services to help start, grow, or make your business thrive. That's what we're here for. The tax dollars of federal government and the state government, as well as charitable donations, think this is important. Small business owners are not corporate America, and they can't afford a marketing team. So SBDC can be your partners. We can be your marketing team. We can be your sales team. We can be your loan application team too. So we're going to be partners here for small business owners in Humboldt and Del Norte.
And the resources are completely free.
Woo! Yes.
To reiterate that, free resources.
Come in and see us. People often talk about, I wish I'd come in sooner. And you entrepreneurs are very dedicated, indomitable forces, and they're just going. But they often realize after they've come to see us at some point that they left a lot of money on the table because you don't know what you don't know, right? So we're talking about a free service where you're going to meet business experts, like entrepreneurs themselves, people with decades of experience in business. You come in and you're just making it happen. You're a sole proprietor and you're making it happen. And you just didn't know that if I did this, or this, I could have made more money, right? So come in to see SBDC. Make sure you're not leaving any money on the table.
So how long has SBDC been around?
In Humboldt, it started in Del Norte in Crescent City in the late 80s. It moved down to Eureka in I want to say the mid 2000. I mean, like 2004-ish. I can't remember the timeline exactly. All that was before me. Greg Foster knows the history of this, by the way. But then we started expanding in 2006, though. Then the Cal Poly Humboldt became the fiscal host, and we went from sort of Humboldt County to about 18 other counties, and then very quickly we're now like 35 counties in Northern California. So I'm part of a network of other districts, and it's really nice because then I can talk to other advisors and I can talk to other directors all over Northern California, from Santa Cruz on the coast, east and up.
So how is it related to the economic development sort of companies or loan uh,
Right.
processes that are happening in, because there's the one in Arcata that's now they changed their name, so I'm always getting it wrong. And then there's of course REDEC.
Yeah.
Uh,
So SBDCs, Small Business Development Centers, are not lenders, and SBDCs, one of their primary partners is SBA. The SBA is the Small Business Administration. That's a federal part of the Treasury Department. So we sometimes get confused with the SBA, and we are really just a resource partner of the SBA. They fund us partially. And so we're the boots on the ground. We're the hyper local, actually knowledge base all over the United States, like I said, for some SBA initiatives. But we also partner with California Office of Small Business Administration. So the state version of an SBA is also partners with us, and they also have other lending tools. So again, what we are advisors that become partners, and we can help you get loans. And so then, because we're established and we are local people, we know the lenders, we know REDEC, and we know North Edge, which used to be Arcata Economic Development Center. Um, we know the banks too. We know Mandy Marquez at Coast Central Credit Union. We know Jennifer Budwick at Redwood Capital Bank, right? We know Monica Gray at Tri Counties Bank. We have these relationships, and getting a loan is really working with the lender and the lendee, the client, and it takes a while. And so we navigate that. We are really experts at getting all those financial documents in order. So we're not lenders, but we are brokers in a way in the lending landscape. So that's how we're related to all that.
so there are programs and methods you offer to help somebody. What what's the ideal candidate? Like where in their business plans should they be in order to go have a chat?
Well, we have 50% of our clients are startup clients, meaning they just have an idea. And 50% of our clients are already in business and need to expand or redo their marketing or maybe get a line of credit for some expansion ideas. So we work with in business about as much as we work with just the ideation folks. And so anywhere in the business, that whole thing, yeah, anywhere. We can take that type of client and move them along in the business cycle. We even help people exit and figure out succession strategies or transition to co-ops. So I don't think there's an area in the business cycle that SBDC can't help you with.
Samantha, how do you feel your role, or how, not how do you feel? How does your role involve the businesses that are out there? Because I'm not sure what I mean, I know what a strategic project specialist is, but what are the strategic projects that you're working on, and what do businesses what are they going for? What are they going to be getting out of going to? I mean, obviously advice and everything, though I think a lot of people are still scared. They don't have that full concept. They don't know where to go. What sort of enticements are you offering to bring people in?
So, the strategic projects that I'm working on currently for the network is our own strategic planning. We are looking to optimize our network, increase our efficiency, embrace AI integration, and we're working on strengthening our marketing and our own branding. So I'm working on some internal strategic projects. And then I'm also the program coordinator for the Startup Humboldt competition. And that competition is open, same as Will said, to both startup ideas as well as pre-existing businesses that are ready to scale. And what we're offering through the competition is access to $200,000 in milestone-based funding, the same wraparound mentorship that the SBDC provides, as well as a series of advanced entrepreneurial courses that will be co-led by professors from either College of the Redwoods or Cal Poly Humboldt.
So I have a feeling that the Startup Humboldt is probably the main thing going on currently because it seems like such a big project happening. I
Mhm.
know years ago there was a some sort of Shark Tank Humboldt thing happening. I was
Economic
actually
fuel, yeah.
economic fuel, which I actually was part of, so I have a little bit of
Oh,
experience
cool.
there. Ended up not going through with it for so many reasons, which is okay in the world. You have to pivot sometimes in life.
Yeah.
So a few of my friends did go through with it. Some won awards, some are still businesses. So I kind of want to talk about what happened in the past there, because it'd be nice to be like, well, what businesses did start from nothing and now are something.
Right.
I,
Yeah, go ahead, Will.
well, economic fuel and decade of difference, and another iteration was awesome competition. These are all previous iterations of business plan or business model competitions, and nowadays we all think of Shark Tank, right? They were variations that um, would help you plan a business either from scratch or early on, and then give you a little bit of prize money to get that going. And what we learned from those iterations, we will learn quite a bit. And most of those people involved in Decade of Difference and Economic Fuel are on our advisory committee now. Um, so we have learned a lot, we have incorporated a lot, and one of the things that those competitions and those competitors said is it wasn't a lot of money. It was $5,000, $10,000, doesn't go very far, and there wasn't a lot of resources and mentorship. And so instead of like a winner winning an option to be with an SBDC advisor, we're bringing in advisors and mentorships right away. So the two big things, a lot more money is accessible, and it's not accessible as prize money, so you can go to Tahiti. I'm going to let Samantha talk about how milestone-based funding works, but what we're doing is there's a whole incubator program, meaning we're trying to develop the deals and really mentor those ideas even before you start the competition, right? Then you go into this pitch competition. And then the winners, two or three, there's going to be a smaller micro venture, there's going to be some bigger expanding ventures. They're going to go through another accelerator program, minimum of 120 days, that help them unlock that type of prize money. So this is a much more holistic wraparound program than just a competition that we used to have. Now, Shackleford Farms, I know was a winner back then. There's a lot of businesses that are still operating because of that competition. We're really looking to do the same, but really at a bigger scale this time. We're looking for the next Yakima, the next Kokatat. We're looking for the next Wing Inflatable. People that are going to scale the business. We say it's a 1 million idea. Let's take it to a 10 million idea. That's the idea of Startup Humboldt. I do want to mention that the Startup Humboldt competition is our flagship initiative. Samantha's the program coordinator. I'm going to let her do a lot of more details, but it's a piece of the Startup Humboldt Alliance, and the Startup Humboldt Alliance has a location called Startup Humboldt Innovation Hub, and it's in Arcata. It's a place now that is a physical hub that connects Cal Poly Humboldt, College of the Redwoods, the SBDCs, there's the NorCal and the North Coast, and a nonprofit venture capital group called Lost Coast Ventures. And that's really exciting, and it's almost an oxymoron. They're a nonprofit that they're also venture capitalists. Well, they're trying to find and help support the next big thing up here. And so it's a pretty cool consortium, and that's already here. And that's a co-working space you can come to and rent space. We have a digital podcast room. You can come in and start your own podcasting just like you guys do at Access Humboldt. You can be around other entrepreneurs. There's trainings. This weekend, we're going to have forest entrepreneurship Saturday and Sunday. It's a 2-day workshop on all things, basically forestry, entrepreneur related. We have all kinds of different things happening at the hub, but the main one that's really taking a lot of the air out of the room right now is the Startup Humboldt competition because it's exciting. It's $200,000 of milestone-based funding. Maybe Samantha can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so milestone-based funding, just to underscore the difference between the previous iterations of business competitions that have happened here and what we're doing is one, I mean, we've leveled up, like Will said, we've leveled up the support system. We're providing a framework of support for every competitor that goes through the program, regardless of whether or not they win in the end, they will leave with a clear pathway to launch or scale their business and a strong foundation of entrepreneurialism. And then as far as what they win, so prize money means that you can kind of do whatever you want with it. We're not offering that. We're not just giving away money. We're offering milestone-based funding. So that means that whomever wins will go through a post-competition accelerator program. And they will only see that funding once they reach predetermined milestones. So once they hit those growth goals, then the funding will be unlocked in stages. And we're doing that one to hold people accountable, to increase accountability, to amplify impact, and then also to protect donor investment.
So what are these growth goals?
It'll be completely tailored to each individual business. It might be something like secure the brick and mortar for your business or procure the business license. It'll absolutely be completely customized and tailored to that individual concept or business that's ready to scale. So
Yeah.
it's absolutely not one size fits all. And that understanding is another reason why we're doing this one-on-one mentorship. Like the courses will be in a group cohort setting, but the mentorship is one-on-one because every business is different. Everyone's needs are different. Every team is going to be different. And we understand that because many of the people within this are either professors or entrepreneurs themselves. So the committee behind this is very strong. And we're excited to invite, competitors into this process and just help them grow. And for some of them, that growth will include funding.
Yeah. I mean, you can imagine, okay, you've got your $3,000 to set up your special corporation. Okay, we can give you that. Let's get the corporation set up. You could also see, okay, you need your first piece of equipment that gets on the ground and for manufacturing. Oh, okay, we'll help you get that, right? But we're not just going to give you a check for anything.
That is wise. We're going to be right back on Thursday Night Talk. We're talking with some folks from North Coast SBDC, so keep tuning in because there's a lot that we can all learn here. Welcome back to Thursday Night Talk. I am Talvi Fried, your local host. I am here with Will Franklin and Samantha Edwardes, both from North Coast SBDC. And for the break, we discussed a little bit about what the Small Business Development Center is, how it's related to other groups in Humboldt County, a little bit of the history. And now we are talking about the Startup Humboldt competition and what that entails. Though I think, are you still accepting applicants to be?
Oh yeah. We haven't even started accepting applicants.
Oh, okay.
Applications open December 2nd. So right now we have gifted ourselves a really long timeline because this is really important and impactful project. So right now we're in awareness generation. We are building the entrepreneurial ecosystem. We're hosting a series of events here at the Startup Humboldt building in Arcata, 876 7th Street. The next two in the series, which I'm really excited about, on November 18th at 5:30, we have a lightning pitch clinic that will be hosted by Will Franklin of the North Coast SBDC and co-hosted by Rosa Dixon of Humboldt Made, as well as Evan Van Auken of Scorchmarker, who was just on Good Morning America yesterday, which is really exciting. So those are the two co-hosts. They are both super successful entrepreneurs. They have both been firsthand in situations where their elevator pitch helped them launch their current nationally distributed products. So they both know full firsthand how important being able to articulate your business idea is. So the three of those co-hosts will chat with our potential competitors, local entrepreneurs, really anyone who wants to attend. It's public, it's free. Just chat more about putting together your pitch. And then the fun part, everyone will practice. So we'll have kind of people will be moving around the room, round robin, sharing their pitches with each other. People will ask questions, and then we'll have a recap at the end. So that
It'll
is
be like a speed
November
dating. It'll be like a
18th.
little speed dating kind of situation. It'll be fun.
Speed dating for your business idea. November 18th, Startup Humboldt Building. And then the final event in our series is a leadership panel that we are hosting on December 2nd, same time, same place. We have a really exciting panel. We have Cal Poly Humboldt's interim president, Michael Spagna, will be on it. Dan Phillips, he was the former CTO of Hulu. And he is also the co-founder of Lost Coast Ventures. He will be on the panel. Jennifer Budwig of Redwood Capital will be on the panel, along with S.K. Lee, who is an angel investor, as well as a coach for founders. So she works for a lot of venture capitalist firms as their kind of founder coach. And that will be the leadership panel. They'll talk a lot about the components of a great team and some strategies on effective leadership. And then that day, December 2nd, is when the applications will go live on our website.
Is there an applicant cap?
No, but there will be a competitor cap. But anyone and everyone can apply. And then we will welcome about 40 teams into the process. So December 2nd, applications open. Applications close January 25th. We will notify semifinalists that first week of February. And then there will be 4 of those entrepreneurial classes from February to kind of beginning of March, one each week. Those are taught by the Cal Poly Humboldt or College of the Redwoods professors. Within that same 8-week time frame, there will be the 4 one-on-one business advising courses. There will be a set of deliverables, and then we will narrow it down once again, and we will invite about 8 finalists to join us for the final friendly Humboldt Shark Tank style final pitch event on late April.
Friendly Shark Tank. Okay.
Friendly. Friendly.
More of a dolphin tank, kind of.
Have you heard about what dolphins can do? I thought
Okay,
they.
that's why I'm not sure
Well,
dolphins are
Yeah,
the
sea
right
otter.
one.
Sea otter tank.
Sea otter, they're mean too. They're mean too.
Okay, well, I'll just keep going with friendly Shark Tank
Yeah,
style.
a
yeah,
fish tank.
It's a fish tank.
Fish tank,
yeah.
yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
we're gonna work on that
Okay.
branding still.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
still workshopping that.
Yeah, yeah. A narwhal tank. I don't know.
Narwhal tank,
They
yeah.
look friendly, kind of. Um, anywho, to go beyond our oceanic creature talk, SBDC and a few other business development programs seem to be doing okay considering the current economic what I would consider a crisis that might be a personal opinion statement that's going on in Humboldt County, watching a lot of businesses close, watching people move out of the area because they can make more money elsewhere, taking their project development elsewhere. Though it mean companies lay off a lot of employees, it doesn't mean the companies aren't necessarily or the owners of the companies aren't doing well. I'm seeing just a lot of the employees are things are being cut back, a little bit of tightening in potential preparation for what's to come. Yet it seems like so SBDC did get a 1.5 million expansion grant uh, for for the facilities, or is that for Startup Humboldt?
No,
I
1.5
don't
million.
know
I wish I had 1.5 million.
I do too.
So we are so SBDC is a nonprofit, and we are funded by the SBA grants that are competitive, and Cal OSBA grants that are competitive, and other grants. So we are like nonprofits that just are hungry. Now we have a long track record, and we do pretty well with the state and federal grants because we are the boots on the ground for small business. And I think most everybody, no matter who you are, realize that small businesses are mom and pops struggling to solve problems in their community. We are really fortunate to be able to work in this arena of economic development. I get to talk to people and help them. Now they're struggling. You're right about that. But we're here because we help people start. So you don't see all the businesses that are starting. Is it balancing out? Are there businesses closing and some opening? Well, last year we helped 45 businesses start. Last year we helped in our two counties, we helped people get $10 million worth of funding. We helped save or create, well, not even save, we helped create 137 jobs last year. I mean, so we watch all these markers. These are our metrics of economic impact, and we have a lot of impact. And I guess that's why we keep getting awarded more money, because then we can help more people. It's the same as the banks too. The community banks are not predatory. If they lend money to somebody and they succeed, then there's more money to lend to the next person so they succeed. These are community banks holding up communities. And so economic development is this ecosystem of people with passion, people solving real problems, people really not making a lot of money, the local banks doing good things for people, not making a lot of money, but we support each other, and those are a more resilient economy. I feel really proud to work in a place where I am just helping people stand up and help themselves, and then they're sometimes employing people and helping their neighbors. So that's what economic development means in a rural county like Humboldt County in Del Norte. Yes, there are some crazy macroeconomic issues going on. We've survived them before, we'll survive them again. It means mostly change, a lot of change. And now I'm not a Pollyanna here. I am not saying, woohoo, everything's going to be great. But we are human, and we don't give up. And especially in Humboldt, like nobody's going to come bail us out. We are already very resilient in rural America. So I think you have the right idea. I think there's a lot of things happening that are scary, But places like Humboldt are going to be resilient, and nonprofit organizations like SBDC can help.
And to address your point on talent flight, that's part of the reason why we wanted to do this competition is to address the fact that some people are leaving in search of better funded opportunities. And it's a reinforcing cycle of disinvestment. And there is data around just simply the existence of an innovation hub, just having something like Startup Humboldt in a rural community positively impacts both that cultural mindset as well as the vitality, the revitalization of that rural region. So we are really working to shift the mindset away that you don't have to leave to be successful. You can start a business here, you can grow a business here, you can scale a business here. Most importantly, you can stay here with your business and be successful. So we're just trying to, from a mindset perspective, let people know that there is support. There's entrepreneurial support here by way of the SBDC, by way of this, flagship initiative that the SBDC is helping to champion.
So I do want to correct myself from before. There was a 1.5 million grant, but that was for the expansion. That was in 2017. So my bad, not reading the date on that. And that was
I think that
pre-pandemic.
predates us both. I can't speak to that.
Yeah, that was pre-pandemic and a while ago. So my apologies. Somehow I wrote that down and forgot to put the correct date next to it of when that would be relevant. Though, um, a trend I've noticed is that while there currently seems to be less tourism, uh, there seems to be a lot of people getting very creative with how they are funding their lives, um, and I've been talking to people about, especially those who have been helping with other people's businesses for a while, to like now might be the time because the current overall, I guess, macro administration, we can call it, is heavily invested in funding new business. We all may be forced to be buying American products for a while because of things like tariffs and whatnot. That's a whole different story. So I'm kind of encouraging people heavily. So I'm glad that there was interest for this to be on Thursday Night Talk, because while people's hours are getting cut down, there's more interest in creating something for themselves and kind of becoming an entrepreneur. And there's this potential opportunity, especially with SBDC, the economic development companies, kind of looking and seeking. There is money out there that's been earmarked for this that is not going away at this point. And it's almost personal opinion on this for those who are listening or whatnot. It could be a good time to go into business yourself, because if you try and fail, you're going to learn a lot, and you're probably not going to end up in any different position if you have the correct advisors. You're not going to end up worse off for the wear. If anything, you may be successful. So
That's for sure. That's entrepreneurship in a nutshell. I mean, it's oftentimes just the necessity is the mother of invention. You don't have a job, you create yourself a job, right? You are self-employed. That's what entrepreneurship means. It doesn't mean you work for yourself. It means you work for every single client you have. So a lot of entrepreneurs are kind of like, oh, I want to work for myself. It's worse than that. You work for everybody, and if you don't, you're going to fail. But you're talking about not just economic development world. There's actually less money in federal funding, federal grants, state grants. It's all tight right now, and it's getting shorter. But what there isn't a problem with is capital in the big capitalism system. And capital will always flow to the highest rate of return. It wants more return on its investment. And that's capitalism in a nutshell. So think of it as flowing downhill. Water flows downhill to the highest rate of return. So the problem is not access to capital. The problem is a good deal. You have to have a enterprise that is growing. That's when capital flows to it, right? So it's deal flow in rural communities that are the real problem, and that is the answer is Startup Humboldt. Well, it's not the answer, but it's us addressing we need more deals. You know, we opened this place called Startup Humboldt, and an angel investor just peeked in. She's from San Jose and spends her time here and there, and she was like, what is this place, right? I mean, and that's that effect that just having an innovation hub can have multiplier effects that you don't even know. If we give money in milestone-based funding to a particular winner, that's funding into that particular winner. But where hubs are, more people start looking, more venture capital start looking, and other people, not even in the competition, start attracting more money. And so that's an amplifier effect. And those are studies done in the UK and Scotland specifically. That's primary literature because Europe has been struggling with this for even longer, rural economic development. A lot of good data is coming out of how to reinvest and turn that disinvestment cycle around. Disinvestment is a positive feedback loop. Look at Oric, look at Garberville. Those are Willow Creek. Those are canaries in the gold mine. That's happening and it's shrinking and it's going to hit the Bay Area of Arcata, Eureka, Fortuna too. We're just not seeing it yet. But how do you change that trajectory? That's disinvestment is through investment, through deal flow, creating some deals. And I think that's Startup Humboldt in general is trying to change that entire ecosystem so we don't continue the disinvestment cycle. That was a long-winded way to say, I think you're right, Talvi. It's a good time to start a business. That's what I was trying to say. But I was a 5-minute version of that.
Fantastic. You kind of answered a few questions I had in that rant, so I'm very, very glad for it. Not that it's a rant; it's a rave.
I got on my soapbox. I did. I got on the soapbox.
Please do. That's good. I think
Yeah, we were invited onto a soapbox tonight, weren't we?
this is a soapbox essentially for people's viewpoints in the community, and that is another portion. Is I do want to ask about the businesses that have been there and their community impact, which let's get into after this next break, and then we'll go into maybe some of the success stories and how that has impacted the community. Welcome back to Thursday Night Talk. We are discussing the Small Business Development Center as well as its upcoming Startup Humboldt competition with Will Franklin and Samantha Edwardes, both from the North Coast Small Business Development Center. And I wanted to ask because it seems very daunting to go from nothing to I have an idea. Is that idea even worth it? It seems like Startup Humboldt's a great way for people to come in and do that. Though I do know several different companies that have been part of past incubator programs, Deep Seated Farms being one of my favorite ones because it is such a it's a community farm share sort of co-op situation, and that was one that started with an idea. I believe, I think Chev Grove or Cypress Grove possibly as well. And I just wanted to ask you if you wanted to share some of your favorite companies that started as a little blip in somebody's minds that was incubated into what it is today.
Oh, Samantha, you got to talk about the event we just had with Cypress Grove.
Yeah, we just hosted an entrepreneur talk on Tuesday with Mary Keene, the founder, and Pamela Dressler, the managing director of Cypress Grove. And they shared an amazing story on how there wasn't even a market for goat cheese when Mary was inspired to start creating it. And she wanted to do it to because she had goats, she loved goats, and she had children to feed. And it was there were so many obstacles in her way, and she really overcame them all. The tenacity is amazing. Um, yeah, Will, do you have other
Yeah,
um
super
there's
inspirational,
so
huh?
many.
That was just, so she tells this story where not only was there not a market, right? People didn't like goat cheese here and didn't eat it. Nobody in America, right? So she's just like, let's just do it. Because she found two feral goats and just started keeping them, and she kind of liked them. And they're not baby cows, they're not small cows, they're different. And so there was no equipment, there was no infrastructure. She started having some success. They didn't have, she had to start a goat nursery. I mean, she had to just invent all kinds of things. And now Cypress Grove is internationally known. It just had the best cheese in the world. I mean, it's crazy how amazing it is. It's known worldwide. I go places and I say I'm from Humboldt, and they're like, "Oh, that's great cannabis and weed there, right?" Not as so much anymore. I was in Philadelphia, and they were like, "Oh, is that where Humboldt Fog is from?" And I was just like, "Yeah, yeah, that's where Humboldt Fog is from." I was like, "Yeah, it's not weed, it's Humboldt Fog." But their story is amazing, and they did things like put their first shipments to the Bay Area on a Greyhound bus because there just wasn't distribution, right? I mean, that is a story of how entrepreneurs are solving problems all the time, coming up with solutions, like they don't give up.
And I loved their emphasis on team too. They told one
Oh
story
yeah.
of, and I'm sure that this is not verbatim, but the story was that they wanted to decrease production costs for a particular cheese. They needed to decrease the amount of time it took for the employees to produce that cheese. So they got the whole team involved. It was an 18-month project and told them that if they reached the goal and had the savings that they wanted to see, that money would go back to the employees as a bonus. So they spent those 18 months figuring out new efficiencies to allow them to produce that cheese faster. And they empowered each and every one of their employees to think like an owner. And they all won the bonus. And then they continue to think about production and think about the things that sometimes when you're on a line, if you don't think like an owner, you wouldn't think like that. So I just loved all of their dedication to their team. They, take them out on small lunches and listen to all of their feedback and then try to implement it or solve it if it's doable. So it's really, really amazing company.
That's a similar theme. I heard Adam and Dick from Dick Taylor Chocolates say the same thing about like empowering your employees, and then they count the steps to go from this place and move the chocolate over to this place, and like, why are these pieces of equipment so far apart? And you can actually speed up your production cycle, and that turns into dollars, and you're just like, wow, we just saved $10,000 a year just by putting pieces of equipment in different locations. And you're just like, Whoa, it's pretty inspiring though when you start building a team and listening to your team and really caring about people. So it's pretty cool.
And just to pull it back to the competition, because that's my job, one of the areas that are most heavily weighted on our judging rubric is team, founder and team potential. How strong is the execution history of that founder? Who are the other, team members behind making it happen? So we absolutely are full believers that an efficient and effective team is a really important part of any business concept or scalable venture.
Fantastic, because I feel like employee health is so important. And
Absolutely.
I'm I know that's going to be part of the scoring system for the Startup Humboldt competition, but is it something that is taught as well?
Within our courses, I mean, yeah, there's definitely going to be focus on either who is currently in the team or what is the hiring plan to fill some of those gaps. I mean, of course, there's just some elements of execution history that you can't really teach someone their background, so that's just gonna kind of naturally either be there or not. But there are other elements that are certainly coachable that will certainly be discussed during the entrepreneurial courses as well as honed during those one-on-one business advising.
Yeah, we'll have some of our favorite leadership structures all scattered throughout those courses, just as we do with the SBDC one-on-one advising. You go into a bookstore and you look at business section, and there's just wall of leadership and change, and all of them have similar elements of how to build trust, accountability, to be goal oriented, and those fundamentals are in all leadership and organizational structures that we do teach a little bit. And then you have SK Lee and you have Lost Coast Ventures. These guys are mentors. When a venture capital group invests in a company to help it, it's not just money. They come in and mentor. And one of the things that they have to do all the time is to tell the founder, you can't do it all. How are we going to build the structure around this to be big? One person can't be the entire big company. So those things are absolutely part of the mentorship program.
And another reason why we're hosting these series of events now is because we want to create an atmosphere where people can find their team. I mean, I'm sure that there are potential competitors who, of course, are already honing their business idea and readying themselves for a competition. And we also wanted to create an environment where they could come and meet potential team members if they don't already have them. So the Startup Humble events are definitely the place to go for that. And then just our leadership panel on December 2nd will speak more to our conversation about strong leadership and how to guide a team and how to value your team and how impactful that can be to your success.
Yeah. I tell them about the boards. You have the cool boards too, where there's a
Yeah.
matchup board. Yeah.
Yeah, we have like a team building board per se, that, perhaps you're a founder and you need help with engineering and product development. So we have a engineering and product development list. And, if you're an entrepreneur seeking a team member, you would add your name to one column. If you are a potential team member who is an expert in that particular subject area, you would add your name to the other column. And then I am connecting everyone, so that teams can be built, so that game-changing milestone-based funding can be won, so
And
that
yeah.
jobs in Humboldt can be created.
Yeah. And that's the story of Pam and Mary at Cypress Grove. I mean, Mary was just innovator, play, new cheeses, and she needed a Pam wrestler to execute, right? Pam talks about not even knowing the cost of goods of a particular cheese, and you're like, you know you're losing money every time you sell this cheese, right? So that Mary was like, whatever, I'm making money somewhere else, let's just go. But to get the right team is how you have staying power and become one of the most famous, companies in cheese in the world. So that's it. You have to have the team.
Uh, so one final question before we get into the round robin. Um, what does the perfect kind of competitor look like? Because it looks like there's only going to be 8 spots after the application process. I can see the benefit of applying for it and getting into SBDC already. Though for those in it to win it, not just to be part of a team or to network, which I can see the benefits again of going towards all these, even if you just have a small idea. Because some things take 5 years, some
Yeah.
things take, some things are ready to go in 5 days, and everyone's going to be in a different place. So, what do those 8 competitors in your minds look like? What would
Well,
be the best candidates for this program?
and not to answer your question, but just to clarify, we will bring 40-ish teams in a semifinalists.
Okay, gotcha.
And then, so they will go through all the education, they will go through the one-on-one mentorship, they will gain that strong foundation of entrepreneurialism. And then in the final round for the Shark Tank, Fish Tank, Beaver Tank, whatever,
Narwhal.
Shark Tank,
Narwhal.
Shark Tank, Narwhal Tank, 8 or so. And then there will at least be 2 winners because there will be the scale venture winner, there will be the micro venture winner. Maybe there's more than that.
What do they look like? That's I listen to podcasts and read, and nobody knows. Ask Sam Altman. Ask ask the famous A to Z guys, Horowitz, and they don't know. You lose. In fact, you often there's 99 failures. I'm going to invest in that failure. I'm going to invest in that failure. That one is the one. It takes off. It's really unknowable, but the themes that keep coming out are team, drive, vision, and tenacity. In fact, if you are a person with vision, drive, tenacity, great leadership, your idea may not even be that good. Maybe you're not even good at financing. Guess what? We can bring in a financing person. So if you're the right person with the right characteristics, with the right team around you, that's where the other things can come in and make sure we keep and make sure it's a success. So the magic sauce is tough, and it's not an idea. It's not the thing that's going to fix this. Although that helps, that's going to be the story. That's what's going to get people interested. But it may just be the person with tenacity and vision and determination that really is going to be the person that starts the next, Cypress Grove.
So let's get into round robins. We've got a few minutes left for the show. Each of you will have 2 minutes to kind of talk to anybody out there that's listening on our TV in channel 12, 13 cable TV, online at accesshumboldt.net or on KZZH 96.7 FM. Let's start with Samantha. You've got 2 minutes for anybody listening or watching, whatever you want them to take with them.
Okay, so the Startup Humboldt competition, we are offering access to $200,000 in milestone-based funding, as well as wraparound and mentorship and advanced entrepreneurial education. We are looking for disruptive ideas. We're looking for meaningful solutions to significant problems, or we are looking for enterprises that will create dozens of jobs for our community. We want to show innovation in other locations means an idea that makes money. Here in Humboldt County, innovation can mean an idea that changes the world. There can be multi-million-dollar ventures that don't just value profitability. Profitability is important. It keeps the business afloat. But here in Humboldt County, we can have multi-million-dollar ventures that also prioritize environmental well-being and community prosperity. I'm really excited to see who comes out, who competes. Our next two events in the series are November 18th, a lightning pitch clinic at Startup Humboldt, 876 7th Street, 5:30 to 7:30. And then we also have the December 2nd leadership panel. Please follow us on Instagram at Startup Humboldt. We just hit 1,000 followers in 8 weeks. So the community is excited about this. Come join us. And we're on the internet too, startuphumboldt.org/the competition. This is going to be impactful. This is going to be huge for our county, and I'm excited to be a part of it, and I welcome our community to be part of it as well.
Thank you so much. Will, you've got...
Yeah, that's fantastic. That flagship initiative is really bringing attention to the Startup Humboldt Innovation Hub. That's the 876 7th Street in Arcata. It's a location. There are co-working spaces. People are coming in. They're tired of working from home. They're spending a couple days here. We have a podcasting studio you can rent. We have video conferencing. It's a place for entrepreneurs and innovation. It's the hub that then reaches out spokes to Willow Creek and Oric and Southern Humboldt. We're putting on workshops in all those geographically remote areas, thanks to the partners in the Startup Humboldt Innovation Hub, which are the small business development centers and our the Lost Coast Ventures and Cal Poly Humboldt NCR. That's a powerful coalition doing a lot for building a resilient economy here. It's not corporate America greed. It's building resiliency at a very local level. So we're really proud of that. Come in, check us out, what we're doing here. And you can always get SBDC services that do the same. So if the Startup Humboldt competition isn't your thing, you can always get an SBDC advisor to walk you through whatever idea you have to be more resilient.
Thank you so much for both of you being on the show. Thank you to Samantha Edwardes, North Coast Small Business Development Center Strategic Project Specialist, Will Franklin, the Director of the North Coast SBDC. Can you give some websites out again just for those who may want more information?
Sure thing. startuphumboldt.org/the competition. And on Instagram, we are just simply Startup Humboldt.
Cool. And the North Coast SBDC .org on the web, URL northcoastsbdc.org. You just Google North Coast SBDC, it's going to come right up. We have Join, we have resources, we do trainings as well. I'm going to be in Southern Humboldt November 14th for an economic resiliency summit, how to get prepared for Christmas, how to pivot around tariffs. We have a forestry seminar at our hub this weekend. If you're interested in forestry entrepreneurship, check out northcoastsbdc.org.
And I just want to shout out to, of course, our partners. Like Will said, Startup Humboldt is an innovation alliance between our two College of the Redwoods, Cal Poly Humboldt, both SBDCs and Lost Coast Ventures. We also have some amazing sponsors. Blue Lake Rancheria has sponsored us, as has Rainbow Self Storage. We're also looking for other sponsors. If any listeners want to be part of this initiative, the more we can involve our community, the more impactful we can be. And every contribution to this competition is a direct investment in local talent and long-term economic resilience.
Thank you so much. That's about all the time we have today. Thank you to our panel. We'll be back next week with another Thursday Night Talk. If you have topics or suggestions or questions about this show, please email us at kzzh@accesshumboldt.net. Reminder, this show replays on Friday evening at 8 p.m. right here on KZZH 96.7 FM. You can also watch this show on Access Humboldt's YouTube channel. It's Access Humboldt. You can look at the playlist Thursday Night Talk. I'm Talvi Fried, your local host, and I will see you again next week. And if you want to film a movie, Access Humboldt does have an incubator program for that. So there's something for everybody out here in Humboldt County. See you next time.